back was in trouble. He took it down the middle, and Rodgers finds it.
That's James Jones when he faced the Washington Redskins in the NFC wildcard game. Some highlights, and he joins us now on the Right to a Guest line here on Fox Sports 910. He's also with Fox, and nice enough to join us here on a Monday. How we doing there, James? What's going on?
Fellas, what's going on?
I got to ask you, Manuch, had a cup of coffee in the NFL, so we don't have any highlights of him. So when you go on to a radio show and you hear some highlights, I mean, do you like that? I mean, is that cool to hear highlights, back in the day, so to speak?
Yeah, man, it's always good. It's always good to reminisce, man, and know that you was all right, man, and you made a couple plays. You know what I mean? That's how, and it helps me be able to raise my kids because they be like, Daddy, I'm better than you. And I'm just like, man, you ain't never caught a pass in the NFL. You ain't better than me. So it's always good to, relive your press clippings for a little bit.
I guess they don't have the preseason highlights anywhere of me playing there, James. I guess that's the only problem I
have. Hey, we believe you, though, man. Forget what everybody else say. We believe you, man. We believe you was a stud, brother.
James Jones here on Fox Sports 910 Phoenix. A lot of talk this offseason about the running back position, and I'm just curious, do you think the running backs should just stop complaining and stop bitching and just, deal with what's going to come, or do you think they have a right to complain?
I think every last running back should hold out. Wow. To be honest with you.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, we always talk about you need a running game to win the Super Bowl. We don't care who your quarterback is. You know what I'm saying? When we won the Super Bowl, James Starks came out of the blue running the ball extremely well and was able to have us to be really, really balanced in the playoffs, right? We needed James Starks. Right, when we went 15-1, we had Eddie Lacy, who was just a monster back there at the running back. You had to play us different, right? You have to play the Tennessee Titans a certain way because of King Henry, right? Ryan Tannehill knows I'm getting this coverage or that coverage because of King Henry. The same thing in Cleveland. Deshaun Watson knows, hey, you got to stop Nick Chubb, and we are going to be able to get these looks. So for me, you need these running backs to win championships, but we don't want to pay them, from the production that they're putting on the football field, which is absolutely crazy because we pay in every other position, including kickers.
And James, and that's the one thing we talked about a little bit earlier is you look at a lot of this misnomer about running backs by committee, or you got a different running back for catching, you got one running from here and there. My question to you is, do you think from the ownership's perspective, now, when you do pay the big money, a running back may not last the next year or only be a couple of years. When you go way back to Sean Alexander, look at Ezekiel Elliott, or some of the running backs that have fizzled after the big money. Do you think that scares owners nowadays because of that?
Well, it scares them, too, because running back is arguably the most physical position in the game. Their bodies get wore down a lot faster than any other position because it's not a play that goes on that they are not banging. You're not getting you are blocking, protecting the quarterback from getting hit. So it is nonstop that you're taking a beating. So for me, I just would like to see the running backs get paid for shorter time, 3-year contracts. 2-year contracts, whatever that may be, you know what I'm saying? And if they're still playing at a high level, here goes another 2-year contract, 3-year contract, but at least you're going to still be able to get what you are worth. I'm not with giving a running back like the Dallas Cowboys did Ezekiel Elliott 6 years, whatever that may be. You know what I'm saying? But for a guy like Saquon Barkley, I will give you 3 years and the guaranteed money you are asking for. You know what I'm saying? To keep you on this football team because you are the best player on our football team and you make everybody on this offense better.
Yeah, but
you know what I'm saying? So,
James, what do you say though if the running back like Nick Chubb or Henry or Barkley says, no, 3 years is not enough. I want a longer term deal. I want 5 years. So now then you're back to the drawing board.
You're not back to the drawing board because I've been in contract negotiations for what is the guarantees talking about. Okay. If you are guaranteeing me the right money within 3 years, then yes, I will take the money. And not only that, I never met anybody that does not want a short-term deal for a lot of money. Because in 3 years, I will have the opportunity to be back up at the drawing board if I'm still playing at a high level. You know what I'm saying? And I will be able to get another 2-year contract, to be able to make some money. I just think we need to shorten down the contracts, the years of the running backs, because as we know, running backs do take a beating. Injuries can happen. So the years of it, I will take that out, and I will make sure that I guarantee them some money. Because even just look at it for the running back standpoint, as we sit here and talk about it, we know that they take the biggest beating. Mm-hmm. So they need to be the main position saying, give me my guaranteed money, because I don't know if I'm making it out of training camp.
So, James, the franchise tag was originally designed to kind of let the teams hang on to a quarterback for more than 4 years, right? And then the NFL and the NFLPA couldn't possibly negotiate, a deal with collective bargaining, all this stuff. They couldn't figure it out. Would you be open to them creating a franchise tag rule that kind of lumps in running backs and receivers and tight ends into like one category, and you can play off of that 2 years that you're talking about, 3 years?
You know what we should do with the franchise tag? We should grab it, put it in the garbage, and get it out of our game. The franchise tag does not help the players. All the franchise tag does is help the organization and the owners. It does not help the players. Could you imagine if the Giants could not tag Saquon Barkley and they were in a position to either pay him or just let him walk? I guarantee you a deal probably would have got done. You know what I'm saying? But them already knowing with the franchise tag he cannot go nowhere, you know what I mean? So we're not in a rush to get you a contract, But, hey, at the end of the day, it's our fault as players because we signed the CBA deal.
Right.
But, that was why I know that was one of the couple things we were fighting for before we had signed it, to get that franchise tag out. So, whenever the new CBA comes up again, we need to really sit down just as players and be like, this is one thing that has to go because it does not benefit us. I don't care if it's $50 million for the quarterback, $30 million. Like, it's no stability, right? You could get hurt and then you'll never see a long-term contract because you played on the franchise tag. Le'Veon Bell would still be with the Pittsburgh Steelers, probably playing at an all-pro level right now if it wasn't for the franchise tag. So it's just, it hurts the players, man. And the best thing for it, is to get it out of the game.
It's kind of like the old adage, you'll have cake and enjoy it, right? You eat nothing but cake and enjoy it from that standpoint. Hey, moving on, talking about your good buddy Aaron Rodgers and this New York Jets team, i.e. Hard Knocks. Doesn't seem like they're all happy, but your conversations with Aaron over the summer, it sounds like he's excited to be there. Maybe not excited with cameras all over the place. But what will you be interested in? What will you be interested in seeing, knowing Aaron as well as you do, as to how he acts or reacts around the cameras?
Oh man, I think he'll be just fine, man. I'm excited for him because I think the world will finally get to see his personality, man. To see what type of teammate he is, man. To see him be involved and engaged with the other guys, whether it's young, whether it's the veterans. I mean, 12 is a hell of a dude, man. A hell of a teammate. So. I just think a lot of people, you see his dry interviews and you see stuff like that, and you're like, man, who is this guy? What is this guy? He a hell of a dude. He a hell of a teammate. Obviously, he a hell of a player. So I'm excited for the fans to be able to kind of get a little sneak peek of just, the type of dude 12 is. Well, not 12 now, 8 is, now. So, I'm excited for that. But we all know the Jets did not want hard counts. The Jets did not want hard knocks. So, that it's going to be very, very, very limited what they can do and where they can go inside that building.
It's interesting, James, because camp is going to open up tomorrow for the Arizona Cardinals. And generally, everybody's all excited about NFL training camp. But here in the Valley, it's like, okay, we know we're not going to be very good. We know we're tanking. How do you... As a player, when you walk in and if your team doesn't really have a fair shot at even being 500, how do you handle that?
Well, you don't handle it no type way because as a player, you never enter into the building like that.
Okay.
I went to the Oakland Raiders, and I looked at our roster and I said, "Boy, we terrible." and I immediately said to myself, "If they give me the ball, we're gonna win every game."
Sure. Yeah.
Knowing that might not have been the case, but just the confidence as a player, and then even walking into the building. Everybody on that roster, including coaches, thought we were going to make a run, thought we were going to the playoffs. It was no sign of taking it. It was no sign of nothing. It was motivation every time we walked into that building. And, we felt like we was one of those teams. I know what we always talk about. It's only a handful of teams, that's going into training camp with an opportunity to go win the Super Bowl. And that's fine for us talking it on TV, but I promise you, none of these teams is walking into that building thinking that they're not going to get it done. So I think that's the same for the Arizona Cardinals. Yeah, Kyler Murray's not there. We probably will go through some struggles, but I promise you, this team thinks that they're going to compete and they're going to win, and they think they're going to have a chance to get in playoffs. And we all know once you get in the playoffs, anything is possible.
And James, as far as you're concerned, you're anxious to see if Hollywood Brown can, be that guy, or Rondale Moore can finally stay healthy and be kind of a breakout guy. They've got a couple of dudes in that passing game that we're just kind of waiting to see consistency or more home run balls out of.
Absolutely, man. It's a lot of speed and a lot of good route running in that room. I think it's just about finding ways to get those young fellas the ball, get those young fellas in space, and to be able to get the best out of them. And that's on the coach. I mean, they have all the talent, I actually train Hollywood Brown. I work him out, out here in Arizona. And, I mean, the kid got everything, the route running, the hands, the ability to, make home run plays. So it's about the coach getting them in position, and then it's about them staying healthy to be on the football field to be available. But they definitely got some talent.
Can Hollywood be a true number one?
Absolutely.
Good. Okay. I know Cardinal fans want to hear that. Absolutely.
1 minute.
Yeah.
James, as always, man, thanks for making at the big boy Fox, but we got Phoenix covered for you. So thanks as always, man. Appreciate it.
Man, hey, don't shorten yourself, man. Y'all big time over there, man. I appreciate y'all having a little dude like me on the show.
Oh, what
you're the
best dressed
pal.
guy on Fox right now, James Jones joining us here. Hey, follow him on
Appreciate
Twitter.
it,
Follow him on Twitter at 89JonesNTAF. That's 89JonesNTAF on X. You can follow him on X. It's no longer Twitter.
Nope.
It's X.
Officially X.
Hey, coming up, we'll recap the sports book from the weekend. They did. I'm sure they did all right. And if we have some time, a YouTuber who staged himself sleeping through WNBA games.